Well, good morning and welcome to Zen Fits on Sunday morning in Blackstone, Virginia, the center of the world. But then you too are at the center of the world. So let's talk about something different this morning. The title is The Rush to Rush. And, there's several ways to take that now. It's a little ambiguous, but it's Rush Limbaugh's birthday. I was notified on Facebook by a friend, and so I started thinking about Rush. I just looked him up. He was born in 1951. I think he became a radio columnist in the early 80s. I think he was syndicated in 88. And wow, when was the last time you ever heard radio without Rush Limbaugh on it? I mean, it's 13 million, some 20, in a week, he reaches some 23 million people. And so I got to thinking about Rush and the power of sound, oratory, oral, hearing versus seeing. Now, Trump is a visual performer. He doesn't come to us on the radio. He's visual. You see him on TV. But Rush, you don't see on TV unless you go to YouTube or something where you see him sitting there at his radio station, broadcasting out of his home in West Palm Beach. But he's a sound communicator. He communicates through the ear. And there's a difference. Which is the more powerful? Sound or hearing somebody speak or seeing them speak. Now, when we see, the eye, the organs of the eye are visual, so they separate. I mean, if you're looking at me now, you are looking at me separate from you. But if you were just lying in bed or in the car listening to me, you see, I'd be going, that's like mainstreaming heroin or cocaine, coke, or what is it, crack, in other words, there's mainlining it. It goes directly to the heart, bypasses the defense mechanisms. See, the visual, when you look at somebody, you know you're not them. There's a separation. There's the observer, the viewer, and the viewed. There's separation. So you know you're not the other person. But when you're just listening, you see, that bypasses that separation, or the organ that separates, and you are the voice and the voice is you. Ever notice that? Think about that. So so Rush doesn't have to. Trump will tell you, he told people, his people, let me be your voice. Well, Rush doesn't have to say that. He is your voice. The oral tradition, before visual print came in, before print, TV and all of that, humanity knowledge was transmitted orally. Everything was oral before writing came in for thousands of years. Writing, print, and now, of course, electronic media. Good Lord, electronic media, visual media is just like a hair on a rope of human history. So this oral tradition is very powerful. You listen, you see. So anyway, Rush is a very powerful orator, a radio orator. You could say he's a radio cult. I used to listen to Rush when you're driving and you put on Rush, and he goes right to you, just makes sense. And so what I'm talking about here is that he really, along with Fox News, has created the political climate, the political polarity, the political confusion, and the conflict of values that we live in now. He has been a great contributor to that. Because the one thing that seems to make Rush Rush was his viewpoint that liberalism is effeminate, weak, emotional, incapable of government, and confusing, conflicting, and he would cut right through it. Boom. So in that sense, Rush fitted into this American mythology. Every culture has a myth, and the American myth is the myth of the Western hero. Pecos Bill, John Wayne, Buffalo Bill, Shane. Now they're in the movies, but the whole idea of the Western hero is that he comes in and just straightens things out with his straight shooting. You know, their civilization is a mess, and confusing, conflicting, dishonest, hypocritical. And the Western hero speaks the truth. He's an action man. He cuts right through. And he makes you feel powerful. And if you follow him or are in alignment with him, he makes you feel like the world is, he makes sense out of the world. This democracy is very messy. It's always calculating, conflicting, and all that. Just want to cut through all the bullshit and fix things, like the Western hero. My favorite Western hero book movie was Shane, played by Alan Ladd. And it's very, very clear, the mythology of it. There was a war between the ranchers and the farmers. There would be, mythologically speaking, that would be the farmers were bringing civilization, and the ranchers wanted free range. They didn't want any fences. They didn't want any boundaries. The ranchers were men's men, and the farmers brought in women and churches and schools and rules, and you couldn't bring your gun into town, and you couldn't drink, and you couldn't be rowdy, and you had to be civilized. The ranchers were like Huck Finn, you know, don't want to take a bath, don't want to cut my hair, want to be wild, want to be a unicorn, you know, free to roam. You know, so this conflict between freedom and civilization. Well, Rush was a rancher, you see. Rush was the rancher, you see. But anyway, there was a war there, a conflict, which is the perennial war between individual freedom and social responsibility. That's what we're all about now. Individual freedom. I want to be free. Don't take away my guns, you see. You know, I'm liberty or death, you see. Oh, you got to be civilized. You got to be socially responsible. Your taxes have to pay for schools, even though you don't have any children. You know, you have to pay, you have to tithe to the whole of society. You can't keep it all yourself, you see. Oh no, I earned it, it's mine. You see, I'm not going to pay for anything that I'm not using. You see, this is an eternal, we see it all the time. It's always going on. Individual freedom, social responsibility. Tribal thing, you know, well, a tribe, there is no rebellion in a tribe. You see, a tribe, you are the tribe. You think what the tribe thinks. It's called groupthink. You are the tribe. You do what the tribe does. There's no rebellion if you belong to a tribe. You are the tribe is you. So Rush created kind of a conservative tribe, an oral tribe, a Rush cult. And he laid the groundwork through his everyday messages, catching us alone when we were driving, to think like Rush. To think in terms of being a rancher. And think in terms of this liberalism just isn't going to work. It's just a mess. You need a strong man. You need a clear vision. You need an action man to come in and just sort things out, you see. And that's a great myth. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just that it's only one half of the coin. you see, because it's nothing stands alone. Nothing is free. Everything belongs to something. Everything belongs to the whole. You can't, unless you want to go live in a cave, but even then, you have to live in nature. You can't, you know. So everything is relationship. Everything is in, you know, so there's this pull. I want to be free. No, I got to belong and responsible and join the group and yada, yada, you know. So this conflict going on. So Rush was kind of like that voice of the right, which is always leaned toward the rancher and the Western man, you know, all these liberal Eastern effete. They don't know how to ride a horse or shoot a gun. They come out here in the West and look like a fool. That's our mythology. That's our mythology, you know. So it's become politicized now, thanks to Rush. Rush was kind of like laid the foundation. He's the father of Trump. Rush is the father of Trump because Trump is not an orator. He's a visual performer. He has a visual cult. You go to see you go to see Trump. You don't listen to him. So Rush is like a portable Trump. Rush is like a radio Trump, a portable Trump. You listen to Rush in your car. You see, where you go, you're in this traffic, in this mess, and Rush is clearly like a GPS guide, like a compass, you know, taking you through the traffic of liberalism. See, liberalism is our government. Liberalism, secular, scientific, materialism, democracy is liberalism. But it always creates, just like our minds, liberalism is like, I think too much. I can't decide. Should I have coffee or tea? You see, I'm caught in constant confusion and indecision. And what should I do? Should I do this or that? So the conservative man, the Rush man, comes in and says, do it. You know, throw the, you know, just do it. So this is an internal conflict. I mean, this is going on in us, you see. So society now has been, our inner mind, externalized into this political drama, where now we pick a political party, you see, because it reflects me, you know, and the confusion I feel is in me. So this modern mind that we're all in, you see, is being externalized by our political play, our drama, you see, and we think that's going to, you know, it's like going to a play and seeing ourselves on the stage, but nothing has changed because we haven't changed. We don't see that we're caught in this political drama. So Rush is kind of like to me, you know, as I reflect on Rush and his history, happy birthday, Rush. I think he's 71. But he's fading. He's waning. Who do we listen to now? Podcasts. So podcasts are the new oral communication. Radio's coming back, not as radio, but as podcast. Isn't that interesting? We're returning to an oral tradition because that's our primary tradition. That's our primary movement. Primary mover is oral. Somebody talks to you, see. That oral to Winston Churchill was the Rush Limbaugh of the World War II who talked his words, his spoken word, you see, the King's speech, spoken word. The word, speak but the word, and my soul will be healed. The word, you see. So for Rush, he just spoke the word and people followed. And that created the groundwork now of this division between the Republican Rush man and the liberal, effete, girly men who can't govern, you see. Liberalism, you know. This demonization, the denigration of, it's like, because it's almost very patriarchal in the sense that The liberals are associated with female, Hillary, you see, or blacks, you know, Obama, or gays, you know, with girly men. You know, all of these less manly men are all lumped up in the Liberal Party, you see. Rush is the manly man, you see. He's the Western hero. So happy birthday, Rush. Thanks for dropping in.